Is Biomutant still worth playing in 2024? Join me as we dissect every aspect of this game, from its graphics to its story, to help you decide whether Biomutant deserves a spot in your gaming library. Biomutant is a really fun game that mixes different types of gameplay to make a cool adventure. Here's what you can expect when you play. One cool thing about Biomutant is that you get to choose how you fight. You can use big swords, shoot guns, or even cast magic spells. There are lots of ways to customize your character and make them fight the way you want. You can even mix and match abilities to make your own special moves. The world of Biomutant is huge and full of cool things to discover. You can explore forests, ruins, and lots of other places to find hidden treasures and secrets. There are hidden chests to find, big bosses to fight, and lots of other surprises waiting for you. There are lots of missions and quests to complete in Biomutant. You can follow the main story or do side missions to earn rewards and get stronger. The choices you make in the game affect what happens next, so you can shape the story as you play. Biomutant can be tough sometimes, especially when you're fighting big enemies. You'll need to use your brain and plan your moves carefully to win. But don't worry, if things get too hard, you can always change the difficulty settings to make it easier. Even after you finish the main story, there's still lots to do in Biomutant. You can play again and make different choices to see what happens, or you can try to find all the hidden stuff you missed the first time. There are also special items and challenges waiting for you in the endgame, so there's always something to do. But before you jump into playing Biomutant, it's important to make sure your computer can handle it smoothly. The game doesn't need a super fancy setup, but you'll still want to check a few things. First, make sure you have enough space on your computer to install Biomutant. It needs about 25 GB, which might sound like a lot, but it's needed for all the game's stuff. When it comes to your computer's guts, Biomutant is pretty forgiving. You don't need the newest and fastest processor out there. Something like an AMD FX 8350 or an Intel Core i5-4690K should do the trick. These processors aren't the latest and greatest, but they can handle the game just fine. You'll also want to make sure you have enough memory or RAM in your computer. Biomutant needs at least 8 GB of RAM to run smoothly. This helps keep the game running without any annoying slowdowns or pauses. For storing all the game's data, you'll need a decent amount of hard drive space. As I said before, about 25 GB should do it. When it comes to graphics, you don't need the fanciest graphics card on the market. Something like a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960 or an AMD Radeon R9 380 with at least 4 GB of VRAM should work well. These cards might not be the newest, but they'll still give you good performance in the game. Lastly, make sure your computer is running Windows 7 or 8 and that your graphics card and operating system support DirectX 11. This is the software that helps make the game look and run its best. Biomutant's graphics have gotten a big upgrade since it first came out, thanks to some clever modders who wanted to make the game look even better. One of the main ways they did this was with a mod called Maximum Beep Boop. Before the mod, the game had some problems with how it looked. Things like blurry colors and weird effects made it hard to see clearly. The mod fixed these problems by taking out the things that made the game look weird. Instead, the mod added something called tone mapping, which made the colors in the game look more natural and bright. This made everything in the game look clearer and nicer. The mod also makes other parts of the game look better. It makes the shadows and small details clearer even when you're really far away from them. It also adds some cool effects like better lighting and making things like fur look more realistic when they're in the light. Finally, when it comes to the story, the game happens in a really cool world with forests, deserts, and old ruins. You'll see hints of the old world civilization scattered around. A special tree called the World Tree is super important because it's the last hope for life in the world. But big monsters called the World Eaters are trying to destroy it. Biomutant gives you a lot of choices, like picking sides in conflicts or deciding what to do with important characters. But even though you make choices, some parts of the story are already decided, so your choices might not change everything. The game talks a lot about the fight between keeping things natural and using technology. There are groups who want to protect nature and others who want to use technology to control things. You'll meet characters who support both sides, and you'll have to decide who to help. As you play, you'll meet lots of different characters and groups. You can team up with them or fight against them, depending on what you want to do. Your character can change and grow depending on the choices you make and the relationships you build. So, is it still worth playing? Biomutant remains a compelling gaming experience in 2024. While it may not be without its flaws, the game offers enough depth and excitement to warrant a playthrough for fans of the action RPG genre. And there you have it. Thanks for tuning in to our analysis of Biomutant. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more gaming content.